Body was found inside a car at a Hollywood tow lot today.
Detectives proceeding cautiously as they investigate the death of a missing California teenager whose body was found in a car belonging to popular singer-songwriter David.
What if I told you that one of the biggest new stars in music was recently the subject of a bizarre national news story? A story about a missing teenager, a mysteriously abandoned Tesla, and a shocking discovery that gripped the internet. This rumor spread like wildfire, creating a baffling myth around an artist who seemed to appear out of thin air. But the truth of how he became a global sensation is infinitely stranger than any online conspiracy. To understand it, you have to forget everything you know about the music industry. Because his story doesn't start in a recording studio or on a stage. It starts in the hyper-competitive, neon-lit world of professional Fortnite. Long before his songs were streamed 1 billion times, David was grinding his way through the digital battlefields of Fortnite. This wasn't just a hobby, it was a serious ambition. He poured thousands of hours into the game, honing his reflexes and mastering every strategy, with the ultimate goal of becoming a top-tier professional gamer. His YouTube channel was his proving ground, a carefully curated gallery of his best moments, filled with highlight reels and jaw-dropping gameplay montages that showcased his incredible skill. He was building a dedicated following, but his focus was singular. Gaming was his entire world. The idea of writing a song, let alone becoming a musician, was not even a distant thought. He was on a completely different path, but a sudden and frustrating roadblock was about to send his life in a direction he never could have predicted. That roadblock came in the form of cold, impersonal notifications from YouTube. His meticulously edited Fortnite videos, the ones he spent countless hours perfecting, were being systematically taken down. The reason? Copyright strikes. The popular music he used to soundtrack his gaming highlights was getting his content flagged, and his channel was in jeopardy. Imagine the frustration of seeing your hard work vanish, not because of a lack of skill or effort, but because of legal red tape. It was at this low point that his mother offered a piece of advice that seemed almost absurd at the time, yet would prove to be revolutionary. Why don't you just make your own music? For a gamer with zero musical experience, it was a crazy suggestion, but born from sheer desperation, he decided to give it a shot. With no budget, no connections, and no fancy equipment, David began his secret life as a musician. His first studio wasn't a studio at all. It was his sister's cramped bedroom closet. This tiny dark space became his creative sanctuary. Armed with nothing more than the iPhone in his pocket and a free mobile app called BandLab, he started piecing together sounds, melodies, and lyrics. He taught himself everything, experimenting with his voice and learning how to produce on a tiny screen. It was in this humble DIY setting that he created a song that would change everything. A dark, melancholic track he titled Romantic Homicide. He made it for one reason only, to have background music for a Fortnite video that wouldn't get taken down. He had no idea he had just crafted a global anthem. Once the track was finished, he uploaded it to TikTok without a second thought and went about his day. What happened next was a digital explosion. Romantic Homicide, with its raw, haunting vocals and deeply mysterious lyrics, resonated with millions. It was unleashed onto the platform and immediately took on a life of its own. The song became an inescapable sound, the backdrop to millions of videos, from heartbreaking confessionals to edgy fashion edits. It was a viral wildfire, and David watched in disbelief as the song he made in a closet racked up hundreds of millions of streams. He hadn't just solved his copyright problem, he had accidentally become one of the most talked about new artists on the planet. A huge part of the song's magnetic pull was its title and the enigmatic story it told. Romantic Homicide is a shocking phrase, and it immediately grabbed people's attention, making them ask, what is this song actually about? The lyrics were poetic yet vague, painting a picture of heartbreak so intense it felt like a death. Online forums and comment sections lit up with debate as listeners became detectives, trying to piece together the meaning. Was it a literal story, or a powerful metaphor for ending a toxic relationship and killing the person you used to be? This ambiguity was pure genius. David hadn't just written a song. He had created a puzzle that the entire internet wanted to solve. But with meteoric, algorithm-fueled success comes intense pressure. The music world was watching, and the question on everyone's mind was brutal. Was he just another TikTok one-hit wonder? A fluke destined to fade away as quickly as he appeared? The weight of that expectation was enormous. David responded by releasing his next single, Here With Me. The song was a complete departure, a softer, more vulnerable ballad that showcased a totally different side of his artistry. The world held its breath and he delivered. Here With Me was another monster hit, proving his success was no accident. He had range, talent, and the unique ability to craft songs that connected with millions on a deeply emotional level. He had solidified his place as a legitimate artist. But just as his career was stabilizing, the bizarre ghost of that old internet rumor came back to haunt him. And this brings us back to the baffling story of the missing teenager and the Tesla. An old, obscure news report about a missing person with a similar name had somehow merged with David's identity online. Search results became a confusing mess of articles about his music, right next to headlines about the strange discovery. A myth was born and it began to spiral. People were genuinely confused. Was this chart-topping artist the same person from this shocking news story? The chaos of the internet had fused two separate realities, creating a bizarre and compelling narrative that added yet another layer of mystery to his public persona. Of course, the truth was far more mundane. It was a classic case of internet misinformation, a random mix-up of names that grew into a full-blown conspiracy theory. David was never missing, and he had absolutely no connection to the news story. But in a strange twist of fate, the rumor didn't hurt him. If anything, it made him even more fascinating. It cemented his image as an enigma, an artist who seemed to have emerged from the digital ether, complete with a mysterious and possibly dangerous backstory. It was an accidental masterclass in modern branding, proving that in today's world, an artist's narrative can be just as powerful as their music. What truly sets David apart is that his sound is impossible to pin down. Just when you think you have him figured out, he completely changes direction. One track might be a soft bedroom pop ballad, while the next is a blast of raw, alternative rock. He seamlessly weaves together elements of indie, R&B, and even gospel, creating a genre-bending tapestry of sound that feels completely new. His lack of formal training became his greatest strength. He never learned the so-called rules of music, so he never knew he was breaking them. This creative freedom is what makes his music so thrilling and unpredictable. It's a direct reflection of a generation raised on the internet. With limitless influences at their fingertips, even his name is a part of his story. Choosing to stylize David as David was a deliberate nod to his digital origins. It's a name that looks like a username, a screen name from the world of gaming and online forums where he got his start. It's a signature that perfectly represents an artist who was not discovered by a record label, but by a global community online. He is a new kind of superstar, one whose identity was forged in the same digital spaces where his fans live, making his connection with them that much more authentic. From a dedicated Fortnite player fighting copyright claims to a billion-stream artist with a global fan base, David's journey is a stunning roadmap for the future of music. He is living proof that the path to stardom no longer runs exclusively through traditional gatekeepers. His story is a powerful testament to the wild, unpredictable nature of internet fame, where a simple solution to a frustrating problem can accidentally unlock a hidden talent and change a life forever. He didn't just find a way to soundtrack his gaming videos. He stumbled upon his true calling, reminding us all that sometimes the most incredible destinies are the ones we never see coming.